Hello and welcome to our third Google Hangout grad chat. Really excited to um, be hanging out with some people in the program and talking about kind of the CU-GARS interview weekend, what that's going to look like. To introduce myself, I'm Joey Dunaway. I'm going to be kind of the moderator tonight. I'll also be moderating social media, so if you have questions, comments, feel free to hashtag CU-GradChat or tweet at us CU_GARS, and we'll have some time to go over social media questions. So I'm a first year in the program. I'm currently the GA for academic advising in the Honors College here at Clemson, and that's a little bit about me. I'll let all my other cohort members and program members introduce themselves.
Hi everyone, my name is Jesse Simmons. I'm a first year in the program as well, and my graduate assistantship is with Leadership Learning, as you can see below my face. And that means I work in the union, and look forward to chatting with y'all.
Community director for many.
Hello everyone, my name is Shay Avi. I'm the graduate assistant for sustainability within housing and dining. Currently a second year in the program, and I'm from San Diego, California.
Hey guys, my name is Suzanne Jasmine. I'm a first year in the program. I'm from Concord, North Carolina, and currently I have an assistantship with academic advising in the College of Health, Education, and Human Development.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Fred Tugas. I'm also a first year in the program. I hail from the great state of Virginia in Norfolk, Virginia, and I am the graduate assistant for recruitment and selection in university housing and dining.
I was muted, sorry. Hey y'all, I'm Harry Graham Courtney. I'm from Johnson, South Carolina. I'm a first year in the program, and I'm a graduate assistant for fraternities and sororities.
Hey everyone, my name is Danielle Barefoot. I am a first year in the program as well. I'm originally from Greenwood, South Carolina. I did my undergrad at USC, and I am a first year, I just said that already. I'm in housing and dining as the GA of residential learning.
And last but not least, my name is Rachel Martin. I am a second year in the program, about to graduate in May. I work with the Bridge to Clemson program doing academic support and advising services, and I went to Ball State University in Muncie, Indiana.
Awesome. Well, those are our introductions. First question that we're going to talk about is kind of what is your favorite part about the Student Affairs program at Clemson? And we're going to have Ashley and Fred tell us about their favorite part about our program. So Ashley, why don't you go ahead and start us out?
Okay, well, I have two sort of things I wanted to say that are both my favorite. I couldn't really pick one. So one would have to be the faculty. Pam, Tony, and Michelle are all like super wonderful and really just the best people and mentors to have, and I think the fact that we are on a first name basis with our professors really just says a lot about our program and about the types of relationships that we have with our professors, and they're so well connected within the student affairs world that they always have good advice and connections for you, so super great to have, especially just as a first year entering student affairs. And then my second favorite thing about our program, just the first and the second year, is the support and the friendships. Like, we're all coworkers and we're classmates and we're friends, and it's a really great support network to have.
Yeah, to kind of echo what Ashley said, one of the main reasons I came to Clemson was because of Pam and Tony and Michelle. Our pretty amazing, and they are well known in the field and well researched. And when I heard their names and found out that they were at Clemson, those are the people that I knew that I want to be mentored by. And that's one of the main reasons that I chose my graduate work here at Clemson. Probably the second thing that I'd really like to emphasize that has been, even as a first year, being able to see how influential and how great our field experiences are. We have the opportunity to do 3 field experiences that total over 400 hours. So that's a really great opportunity for you to really diversify your resume, get different experiences, and try some new things.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley and Fred. I also want to get Danielle's opinion on kind of what her favorite aspect about our program is.
All right, everyone, just again echoing everything that I previous to have said, we have great faculty here. The other favorite thing about our area here is Clemson is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you've seen this area, but we have a lake on campus, so if you're outdoors, it's outdoorsy at all, it's pretty great. We have a lot of fun things that we can do. We're close to the mountains, we're decently close to the beach, and you can do a lot of different exploring. So it's a really great area just to do some different things, which has been really cool.
Awesome. So kind of CU-GARS, what is that weekend going to look like? What is the interview? What are the interviews going to look like? What else is going to go on? So to help us answer all those burning questions, Shay and Suzanne are going to talk to us a little bit about the CU-GARS weekend.
Yeah, so I'm going to do my best to just kind of give a broad timeline of how that's going to go, because there is going to be a lot of stuff going on for the weekend, and then Suzanne will hopefully be able to supplement with some details. So the first thing that's going to happen is there's going to, obviously y'all are going to be traveling in to Clemson if you're flying into Atlanta or Charlotte, or Atlanta or Greenville. We will be able to pick you up from the airport, and so that's something that's awesome. You'll be able to check in, make sure that you're able to say where you're going in the message that you sent. We'll have an opening reception. You'll kind of meet people, all that kind of stuff. That session will let you know what positions are available. You hear a little bit of the history from Clemson, and then there's an optional social here on campus where you can kind of meet other grads from our program. The next part is the Friday. We're going to have continental breakfast, hospitality room before your big interview day, which is that day. Interviews will be going on from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then we're going to have a break for people to just collect their thoughts, do some personal maintenance, that kind of stuff. Then we'll resume from 10:15 to 11:45. From there, we'll do lunch, and then further interviews from 1 to 3 p.m. Then another break, some more interviews, and then we'll have dinner at 6 o'clock in our Union Underground, and then a kind of a social in our underground. The next day is Saturday. We'll do some optional campus tours, housing tour. You'll be able to see the campus that you'll be going to school at, as well as the housing that you may be able to live in if you do work in housing. You'll get some more Clemson history in front of our big stadium. You will be able to see the Rock, get a real motivational speech, because football is a big part of the culture here. And then followed by that, you'll have a graduate panel discussion where you'll kind of be able to ask those burning questions that you haven't been able to think of throughout the week. Stuff like, where am I going to live? What's the cost of living like? That kind of stuff. From there, we'll have a closing brunch. Our faculty and program coordinators will be there to kind of describe what the next process is. From there, you will make your preferences for what positions you would like to have, order at 1 through 5. At that brunch, you'll obviously have food, but there will also be an opportunity to interact with undergraduate students, so you can kind of see what the campus culture is like. And from there, our airport shuttles will depart, and y'all will leave, and hopefully pick us as it goes on, and from there the supervisors will pick who they felt were good fits, and hopefully it's a mutual process, and we'll all see you here come July and August.
Yeah, I think Shay did a great job giving an overview of the different activities we've got going on during the weekend. So basically Thursday is just day to introduce you to Clemson. We'll have a social so you can meet people, and I really encourage you to try to talk to as many current grads, and as well as other candidates that are here, because those people will be your cohort mates when you come to Clemson. So we try to build as many opportunities like that into the weekend. So I encourage you to take advantage of those. Again, we'll have a social on Friday, even after interviews, and on Sunday it's laid back, closing brunch, where you can talk and ask any more questions that you might have. So we're just all about hanging out, but you can kind of build the weekend how you want to look like to around your interviews as well, if you want some quiet time or if you want to be social.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of fun stuff going on for GARS, but one question that I'm sure a lot of you are kind of wondering is, what do I need to bring to GARS? We've got socials, interviews, hanging out with people, traveling. So to help us answer that, we're going to tune over to Jesse Simmons and Harriet Graham Courtney for What Should I Bring for the Weekend?
So, the list of things you should be for the weekend, or you should bring for the weekend, starts with, of course, your professional attire for interview day, like a business suit for guys, and however women dress business formal. I don't actually know. There's lots of options there, so just do it however you see fit. There are also, the socials are casual, so a couple pairs of jeans or khakis or whatever. The brunch on Saturday is also casual, so really the only time you really need business attire would be for your interview days. Also, just obviously your basic toiletries. If you are able to, I would suggest maybe bringing a couple of snacks just in case. Any medications that you might need, obviously. Just basically anything that you feel like you would need to make yourself be great for 3 days.
Okay, so Jesse pretty much covered it. So definitely interview attire for the interviews. Wear what makes you feel comfortable. Ladies, you don't have to wear heels if that's not what you're comfortable in. For the socials, jeans are perfectly appropriate. How a dress, whatever you want to wear, whatever you feel comfortable in. For the brunch on Saturday, I would go with more of like business casual, so maybe not jeans, but it definitely doesn't have to be interview attire. You are confident in who you are and you're wearing something that makes you feel that way.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that, guys. So we do have a question from social media, kind of about assistantships. So how do you choose those top 5 assistantships that we were talking about? What kind of went into your thought process in choosing those? Danielle, do you want to help answer that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Am I unmuted? Yes. Okay. So with choosing the assistantships, first thing I would do, scour the website. All of the position descriptions are online through the CU-GARS page, and go through and just really look at those. With that, see what positions are out there, kind of see what they have. Just make sure just go through those. Also, I would be really honest with who you think you are and what you think you would be happy with. So when I was looking at mine, I mainly looked at housing functional areas because that's where I knew I wanted to be. So be true to yourself in that. Don't feel like you have to fill out 15 different positions or that you have to do all of these different ones if you know you're not going to be happy. But would also say keep your options open and don't pigeonhole yourself into one thing.
Definitely good advice, Danielle. Thanks for that. So when you come to GARS, a lot of you are going to be staying with either a host or a host. So to tell you more about that, we're going to turn it over to Rachel and Fred, also known as Fred. I'll let you guys. I don't remember the name.
Rachelito!
Frachelito, as we've been coined, because it combines our names. Anyways, long story short. Um, so, first of all, having a host is having free housing. Woohoo! Who doesn't want to not have that? So they're there really to be a support for you throughout the weekend, whether that is offering you rides across campus because no one wants to walk those hills and heels, or it is somebody who you're freaking out about an interview that you just had, and they can calm you down and talk to you about people that they may know in that department. So they're just really there to be a support throughout the whole entire process. So a host is somebody that you would stay with, and then a FOST is if you have other accommodations, whether it's you already live in Clemson or you know somebody and you're staying at a hotel or with a friend here, then we're going to connect you with a current grad so that you can have someone to just check in with throughout the weekend. And then they can also, prior to you coming to GARS, they're going to reach out and they're going to offer and answer any questions that you might have from a graduate perspective. And so we have wonderful staff, and they're going to give their answers from what they see, and we can give you the answers from our graduate perspective. So that's just a little bit of like the overview of what a host or a FOS might be like.
Rachel, we also need to get Frachelito trademarked because it sounds like a frappuccino, right? So we don't want anyone stealing that. We got to talk about ingredients later, though, too, for what.
Perfect. I'm done.
A little bit more about hosting. I have the great opportunity to work with Rachel on the hosting process. Just a little bit of logistics. For those of you that have received your invitation, congratulations. Be sure to RSVP at that email that you got from Jeff Brown. But then also don't forget to go to the acceptance website and submit your travel and accommodations form. At that point, we'll know that yes, you have RSVP'd and said you're coming, and yes, that we know that if you need a host or if you need a ride from the shuttle, which are all free, by the way, you're obviously you don't have to pay for the complimentary shuttle that's provided by our GARS committee. So that is due this Thursday. February 12th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So just be sure that you get that to us by Thursday evening so that we can begin matching this coming weekend. You'll hear directly from your host via email, probably at the earliest on the 15th or the 16th of next week. So in about a week, you'll hear directly from your host. And your host is, again, armed with a lot of different information for you. They'll have a schedule, they'll have a graduate student directory, and they'll be able to help answer a lot of your questions. But if you have any specific questions about travel and accommodations, feel free to reach out to me and Rachel as well.
Awesome. I know that pretty much all of us stayed with a host or a FOST during our GARS experience. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So moving on to the next question. This is going to go again back to Rachel, and then we're also going to get Jesse to weigh in on this one. So what advice do you have for the people that are going through the interview process, or what advice do you have just for the weekend in general?
Great. Well, first of all, I would say be yourself. Knowing if you're going to fit in here at Clemson is just going to, you're going to have to know if you can see yourself here. And so being you is that top priority. We want to get to know you, who you are, and your potential employers also want to. And so putting on some fake smile or some fake personality isn't really going to help the whole process. So just come here and interact with all of us. Please know it's all going to work out. I spent way too much time after the whole interview process of 3 weekends at different schools worrying and fretting and not knowing what was going to happen. And so just it's going to fall into place, and know that on the front end before all of these interviews start. And then finally, see if we're the fit for you. You guys got to interview us as well. And so really get to know us, ask us questions. Most of us are all open books, and if we're not, we'll tell you that. And so get to know us too, because we obviously fit here and love what we do and love where we are. And so if we can be of any help to us, please reach out beforehand. Some of us are in that Facebook group, and we'd love to just get to know you already now.
Yeah. So I think Rachel pretty much nailed it on the head with the just be you, just be authentic. The biggest thing I would say would be to just come as prepared as possible, but like don't stress out too much. Knowing that you're a good fit here is really the most important thing. And if you feel that you're a good fit here, then we want you here, and we just really want you wherever you're gonna work. You're gonna be happy. So if you are your authentic self and you find that you're happy here, then you're gonna be happy here for 2 years, ideally. So just being prepared and really being open to meeting a lot of people, because that's gonna happen. You're going to meet all the people that you interview with, plus a whole bunch of people in the cohort, and just really being prepared for that. And if that doesn't come naturally to you, just know that there will be some downtime built in, but it's a very busy weekend. So come prepared, come well rested, and come ready to have a great time.
Good advice, good advice. So we've got a few questions from social media. Our first one is going to be, how many people are in the cohort? So I can go ahead and just answer that one. Generally, we have about 34 to 35 people in the cohort. So that's going to be 34 to 35 in the first year cohort and 34 to 35 in the second year cohort. And those are generally all full-time students. There are about one or two that are part-time. But we're all about full-time. We have usually 2 sections of class, so you get a little variety in your classes, all that good stuff. The next question we've got is going to be for Danielle and Suzanne. What is an average day like at Clemson, or what's an average day like in student affairs, or is there an average day?
Okay, I'll start off with that one. First off, there really is no average day, and all of us have different assistantships, so what my day looks like is very different than what someone else's day looks like. But just to give you a general rundown, I have a 25-hour-a-week assistantship, so I usually work around 5 hours a day, somewhere in there. I'm more of an office, like mine is more in an office, so I do a lot of work in my office, but I also have some good student contact. So usually we'll go from anything to getting into the office early, getting some work done, trying to think, usually grab a lunch with the cohort. We're all pretty close, and we'll go to the dining halls together a good bit. We have class usually 3 days a week, so you have some of that, which is a good break. Those are usually at night, so starting like 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in that range, and they're 2 hours and 45 minutes long. So that is one of the longer parts of your day, but they're pretty good. Trying to think what else. Everything's kind of different. Every day is different, where there's not really a lot of like the same old that goes on. You just kind of go with the flow and figure things out. Student affairs kind of has its peaks and valleys as far as when you're busy and when you're not. So.
Alternative perspective, my day is a bit more structured because of my assistantship. I work in academic advising, as you can see, and so I have set hours that I do go into the office and work. So that's definitely something to think about when you are ranking your assistantship and when you're interviewing as well, and asking your employer, will I have a set schedule? What does a typical day look like for this office? Because it really can vary across campus. And so for me, I might go in for 5 or 6 hours to my assistantship. Right now I also have a practicum as well. So you might be splitting time between multiple offices if you're doing a practicum or internship in a particular semester. And then, as Danielle mentioned, we typically have class in late afternoon, and those run for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So some days I'm split 3 hours in my assistantship, 3 hours of practicum, 3 hours of class kind of thing. But other days I'm at my assistantship all day. So you just learn to balance it and work it all out into your schedule as you go.
Awesome. One other thing I'm going to add in about the cohort numbers is the cohort numbers are usually based on the opportunities of assistantships that are available, because in order to be a student at Clemson in the Student Affairs program, you do need to obtain either an assistantship or be working full-time. So those numbers, are basically it's how many assistantships are available. Is how much is going to be in the cohort, but it will be around 34-ish, give or take a few. So moving into our next question, we're talking a lot about interviews, kind of a lot of logistical stuff, but Shay and Suzanne, why don't you tell us guys a little bit about what was your favorite part about your interview experience or your CU-GARS experience?
Okay, I can go ahead and start. I think probably the best part was coming in and seeing what the cohort is like, just seeing the kind of people that I'm going to be experiencing one of the hardest and most rewarding 2 years of my life. Just being here and seeing what the people are like. I came in, I remember thinking like, these are my people. Like after being to other schools, other interview weekends, I thought this is awesome. The interview process itself, I thought it was just a great opportunity for you to kind of validate the amazing things that you've done in your undergrad experience or your work experience. It was just a great way to get to know yourself as well, and it was a very introspective, reflective time for me. I'm very extroverted, so it wasn't anything that was too crazy for me. But I do know those introverts out there. We do have a lot of accommodations that are there for you, including hospitality room, quiet room, opportunity for you to collect your thoughts. So just the opportunity to get to know myself, get to know the group that I'm going to be hanging out with, as well as the city that I'll be living in. That was probably my favorite part with the interview weekend.
Yeah, so to echo what Shay said, one of my favorite parts too was just coming here and really being welcomed on campus by the current students and the faculty, and I felt like they were my people and that I really belonged here. So that was one of my favorite parts, and just meeting a lot of people. I'm not as extroverted, but I really enjoyed meeting other candidates who would be in the program with me, as well as the first years and second years in the program, because it really gave me a feel for what the Clemson family is like once you're in the program. I will also say that something I liked about Clemson too, and this is kind of more related to the interview side of it, is that we were able to add on interviews when we got here, which is something that I found that was unique and that I enjoyed, and I probably signed up for more interviews than I should have, but I thought it was cool because you could kind of build your schedule and maybe create new opportunities for yourself through that process as well.
Awesome, thanks for that, guys. So one thing that a lot of people are kind of curious about is, what does the cohort model look like? What is the bond between the cohort? Does it all work? Do you guys actually hang out outside of class together? So Fred is going to help answer that question.
Thanks for that, Joey. So I really enjoy our cohort, and that was something that was kind of a base foundation for me, was to figure out programs that had a cohort model, because I knew that support was going to be important. So at Clemson, we have fairly large cohorts, and that's something I really enjoy because our cohort members bring a diversity of experiences geographically, working full-time, not working full-time, but we're all kind of in the same place, all trying to get that MED in student affairs. And so I think that support has looked a lot of different ways. That has looked academically, that has looked socially as well, and we are supported by a great student personnel association that puts on some formal socials for us, throws our tailgates, and gets us all together as a program beyond that as well. Beyond that, I have found my cohort to be a very personal journey for me. There's been a lot of people that have supported me through tough times, through my adjustment as an out-of-state student, as a person of color, and that has been something that's been really important for me, and I don't think I'd be able to survive without some of the people in my cohort. So.
Thanks, Fred. Now here at Graham, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience with kind of the cohort model?
Sure. So I worked previously for 2 years at Presbyterian College, and I learned what it meant to have colleagues. And for me, having colleagues, they're somebody you share a work relationship with, but they're also your friends. And I find that in the cohort as well. We share this bond of going through this process together. We work together. We fun together, actually on campus and living so close to so many of my co-work members. It makes this experience so much more fun and so much easier. And you have lifelong colleagues that you know you'll be able to call on whenever you need them.
Sweet. Yeah, the cohort model has been definitely one of my favorite aspects about Clemson. And I really like what Fred had to say about kind of being there during the highs and the lows. It's definitely something that's been true for me. So shout out to you guys. So now, Ashley and Rachel, if you guys will tell us a little bit about what made you kind of decide to come to Clemson after your interview weekend here.
Okay, so can you hear me? Okay. So I actually left Clemson my first interview weekend. I left right from Clemson and went to a second interview weekend, like literally same day. So I think that was like it was an exhausting experience, but it was a good basis of comparison for me. So just the whole interview experience at Clemson was so holistic. Like, we did academic things, we did things about assistantship, but also just getting to know campus and undergraduate students and each other. And then the other schools that I had visited, it was so administrative, and it was more about like getting done what needs to be done. But so just the whole experience in general really made me see that this program was all about the holistic experience, and that this was the place that I needed to be, because I'd be living here for 2 years. These are the people that I wanted to be associated with, and friends, workers, future colleagues. So just everything was welcome, and when you get here, you see art everywhere and paw prints. Invigorating experiences is here, and it's a place that like I knew I would want to be at for the next 2 years, and I can imagine a few years.
Did she freeze? Yes? Okay. Well, I can offer perspective from second year. So I came in my GARS weekend, and like Shay was talking about, because we're in the same cohort, I was just like, these are going to be my people. And so I was going to fight to get here. So I can offer the perspective of not getting a first round choice. So when I left GARS, I was like, okay, this is going to be my place. This is where I want to be. And then I was waiting for the phone call, and it didn't happen. And I was talking to some of my friends that I had met at GARS, and they're all like, it's okay, it'll all work out. And of course, I didn't trust the process. And so I was like, I'm going to do everything that I can. And there were some other assistantships lined up, and so I was going to fly back down here. I was like, I'm ready to come to Clemson. And so I ended up, my position now, I'm with the Bridge program. They offered the assistantship to someone, and that person turned it down. And so they emailed all of their interviewees a second time, or that they had also interviewed at GARS, and said, hey, we're going to do second round interviews. Are you interested? And of course, I jumped on the opportunity. And so I researched everything that I could about the Bridge program, found a ton of information, and then scheduled my interview for early, because I was in Chicago, and so it was like 7 a.m. my time. But I jumped on board and interviewed the heck out of that thing, and they called for that and said that I was at the choice, or at the moment of, I'm going to make this be a thing, and it happened, thankfully. So the reason why I really came to GARS was just the people. I'm a huge, huge extrovert, and so I knew that I wanted to be here when I was clicking with my fellow grad students, the grad students who were here, my professors that I had talked to previously on the phone, and then had also had the chance to talk with them at brunch, and then throughout the interview process, and the supervisors that I now work with and then was interviewing with. And so it was really the people that sold me on coming to Clemson.
Awesome. Turning back to social media, we have a question that's going to go to Danielle and Ashley. So let's see. Sorry, let me find it. So earlier in the chat, Fred kind of mentioned our field experiences that we have. So kind of extra that goes along with assistantships. So Ashley, if you want to start us out, just talking about kind of some of those different field experiences, and then Danielle, we can get your opinion on that as well.
Yeah. So your semester in the program, you don't do any sort of field experience. You just kind of focus on your assistantship and your class load and getting adjusted to life at Clemson. And you start off with your first practicum in your second semester. So all the first years, we're in our practicum right now. Our program puts on a practicum and internship fair in the fall, so October, where lots of different departments, most departments at Clemson that would be open to taking a student affairs grad student, as well as some other local universities like Tri-County Technical College, Furman University, which is about 5 minutes up the road in Greenville, Presbyterian Tech, and choose to broaden your experience. So first semester you take a 100-hour practicum. So mine is with at Furman University with student activities in Greek life. Clemson was pretty similar to my undergraduate institution, so I wanted to see a smaller private institution and what that was like. So I'm really enjoying my experience there. I go there 1 day a week, all day, and just have blocked that out for my assistantship, so it's not too hard to balance. And so I'm a 10-month assistant as a graduate community director, so I have my practice semester, and then I will do an internship in my own experience every year. They're really not difficult to find. I mean, essentially, we're free labor for any department that's willing to give us a project to work on, help their department in any way. So it's great to set and something that I really about the program that you don't experience in, but also that you can choose other skills that you want to be working on in different functional areas.
All right, I think Ashley's done. I can't tell. It sounds like she's going a little bit in and out from my side. But just to kind of add to what she's saying, she kind of hit the nail on the head with everything as far as you have the 3 experiences. Just so y'all know, mine, I'm also a first year. I'm doing my practicum right now in Victory with Athletic Academic Services, so I'm actually getting to do a research project with them, which was something that was a passion area of mine, and I just wanted to work with athletes and get a new experience. But I'm a 12-month assistant, or my GA is a 12-month assistantship, so my schedule looks a little bit different. I'm actually taking my first internship, so the first 150-hour experience over this summer, and then I'll take my second one next fall. So I'll be done with our field experiences after the fall, which is really nice. It kind of lightens the load a little bit, but it makes the summers kind of crazy. So for mine over the summer, I'm actually working with orientation and getting to see what it looks like from that side, which is really cool. And like Ashley said, they're really easy to find. There are people who create them all the time who will just go to an area and be like, hey, I want to do this. Do you want help? Because, again, we're free labor. People, like, there's always so much to do in offices, and offices are always have projects they want people to do, so having someone else who can come in and dedicate time is great. Yeah. So that, I think HG is going to add some stuff, right?
Yeah, so one of our other really great experiences that Clemson's program offers, and one of the main attractions about Clemson's program for me when I was applying to grad school, is the ability to go abroad and do an internship. I'm going to the University of Sheffield in Sheffield, England, along with 3 others. Suzanne's going as well, and she's on the chat tonight. But the ability to be able to do that. Oh, and Joey's going too, and he's going to Ireland. So we're all really excited, and that's such a cool experience. Ours at Sheffield is 5 weeks. I'm not sure how long Joey's is, but it's another great experience to diversify yourself in the field of student affairs and to just get a really awesome experience.
Yeah, definitely. Just to add on to that, I will be going to Ireland this summer for 2 months. I'll be gone for the months of June and July, working with an international student services conference over there. So a lot of cool opportunities apart from assistantships, as well as being able to go abroad or stay locally. So pretty cool stuff. Moving on to our next question. This is going to be for Ashley and then Harriet Graham again. Any parting words of wisdom or advice before we kind of wrap things up as people are kind of preparing to come? What is just your overall words of wisdom or advice for everyone?
Sorry, you can go.
I was waiting. I would just say enjoy your experience of going through the grad school process. Come to Clemson, see if it's the right fit for you. Enjoy your time, meet people, and just be yourself and be confident in who you are. It's a wonderful experience, and the great thing is that if you're going into the field of student affairs, regardless of where you end up for grad school, at some point you're probably going to come across some of us again one day, whether it's at a conference or you end up working together, or just other people you meet during the interview process. So just come and be yourself and just enjoy your time here in Clemson.
Yeah, a lot of, I was going to say, Harry Graham just touched on, but the one thing I would really encourage you is just be confident. Like, I know it's a nerve-wracking process and it's time-consuming and stressful, but like, you have so much to bring to the table, to Clemson or any other university you might be interviewing at, and it's like, be confident in who you are and your abilities and what you bring to this profession, and show your passion, and like, it'll be great. So enjoy it. Yeah.
All right. I think Ashley might be done. All right. So let's see. I'm going to check social media one more time before we head out. Get your last minute questions in. But before we do that, Shay is going to talk to us a little bit about interview tips and some other stuff. So listen up to some good stuff from our man Shay.
Oh, what an intro. So basically what I'd want to say is that if you're interviewing for a position that doesn't necessarily translate to, to what you did in your undergrad, if you're interviewing for a housing spot and all you have is orientation or Greek life or something like that, that's totally fine. The people who are interviewing you aren't looking for you to go and pick up and do the exact same thing that you did in undergrad. They're looking for a clue or an opportunity to say that you're trainable, that you have the ability, that you have the skills to learn a new craft, to learn some new tasks, all that kind of stuff. So if you don't have that transferable experience, you have the transferable skills to make that happen. Also, what I would say is that when you're interviewing, go more for examples based rather than philosophically. If you can say that I've done this, that's a lot better of an example from someone as opposed to I believe this. So promises don't carry as much weight as real life experience and real life examples. So just know that you got to this program and you got accepted into this program for a reason, and that you are completely competent in making this happen. But just sell yourself for as best as you can do it, and you're going to be great.
All right, Shay, bring in some good words of advice. I feel like that job search going on is definitely bringing out some of those good tips that you've got for us.
I wouldn't go that far.
So that's kind of all we have for you guys today. I hope that answered some of your questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to tweet at us, CU-GARS CU_GARS. We've got our Facebook group. Feel free to ask questions in that. We've got current grads in there that would love to help answer those questions. But yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. GARS is a lot of fun. We'll all be here for you. Feel free to ask questions. We're here to just support you in making those decisions and supporting you during the interviews, things like that. So one other thing before we head out, our Twitter, CU_GARS, we're kind of doing these Twitter takeover days. That feel of what a day in a SA grad's life would be. So whether they're going to practicum, assistantship, internship, hanging out with friends, going to class, that'll kind of give you a better feel, understanding of that. And if you guys, if this is your first time hanging out with us on the Grad Chat, we have the other Grad Chats available. They're also on YouTube, so you can check those out. And yeah, I think that's all we have for you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, and hopefully we could answer some of your questions. Again, feel free to ask questions, all that good stuff, and go Tigers. All right, so we'll see you guys later. Everybody say bye.
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 See you soon.
Yeah.